one of the things that we really want to touch on whenever we start talking about program management and understanding how to get Power BI off the ground is making the business case to get somebody at a higher level to buy into actually allowing a budget and time and all of those areas so that you can actually get the project done. So Daniel, one of the things that we spend time on the front end is kind of identifying what is the quick win, what are the areas of concern, what do the stakeholders want to see? Like, kind of talk about how we engage with our clients to start that process when we begin to talk about the program management component.
Yeah, so typically whenever we're working with a new client, one thing that we hate to hear is we want Power BI, and there's not really any follow-up after that. If somebody just wants Power BI reports for the concept of implementing a business intelligence program, typically they're not going to get very far. Most of the time, if there is a need or a want from specific business users that require, seeing their data, handling it, being able to use their data in a more streamlined way, that's typically where we find the highest amount of success, because a lot of times for early initiatives, we are eliminating manual processes for someone in HR to constantly have to put together 50 Excel spreadsheets from the past month and generate a report for somebody that needs it by Monday. Typically when you have any sort of business requirement involved with the need for Power BI, and you can kind of vocalize that to anybody who can put a Power BI report together, that's typically a great place to start.
And Christiaan, when we start that process with our clients, who typically engages with us in the beginning when we're looking at making a business case to start Power BI? Is it the department lead? Are they bringing in the board? Like, where is it kind of at the highest level of organizations? Is it kind of all the way around? Like, where do most organizations start when they're trying to bring decision makers in to make a business case about analytics?
Yeah, so typically in my experience, it's been department leads. They usually have a very particular initiative that they want reporting on, that they want us basically to come in and help build out their environment, gather the user requirements, build out those automatic processes that Daniel mentioned before. And then kind of from there, then they get somewhat stakeholder buy-in from the higher ups, because somebody needs to make the executive decision to move forward with the project.
And usually they'll find some area where they have a hole, right? Where they're spending a significant amount of time, like you guys had just mentioned, like taking manual information in a spreadsheet and converting it and doing something with it, and it takes hours at a time. Or multiple people are trying to make decisions off of shared spreadsheets, or they can't get reports out of their ERP or their inventory management software or their HR software quick enough without having to go through like a Crystal Reports building process, and it's all paginated and static. And so I think what we typically find, and when we start talking about making the business case in order to get user adoption and program management, is to start in an area where you can get a quick win, where you can begin a process that shows immediate value, and that at the department level, when you're taking that to get it funded at the stakeholder level or shareholder level, or even beyond the department level, you can sit down and say, look, we see that there's going to be a cost savings or an increase in productivity, and really isolating that as like your first step, instead of trying to do everything. You're like, I'm going to do Power BI, right? Like, I'm going to create this whole system. It's like, start with one place where you can make a case that you're going to be able to change the way that people do their job and save them time and create a more productive work environment with more accurate decision making. And I think that is where you can latch onto to begin the process of creating a program.